This morning's show is on the Fretz, and it's going to get rocky. What are we talking about? You'll find out coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at Sparks Toyota on Highway 501 in Myrtle Beach. We're focused on the Brookgreen Gardens Cool Summer Evenings concert series and the Nights of 1,000 Candles there at Brookgreen Gardens. And we're visiting with one of its headline performers, Rocky Fretz. Good morning,
Greg.
Rocky.
Good to see you.
Thank you for coming in again.
My pleasure. Thanks
Obviously,
for having me back.
Last time we were at the Herald there on the base, and
Yeah.
now out at Sparks Toyota, moving around.
It's wonderful. I love the concept. I love the concept of get community support, business support, everybody getting together, making stuff happen. That's
Absolutely.
my favorite thing.
And that is exactly how it works. We were at Ripley's Aquarium last week, pumping up the Walk America series for the March of Dimes.
Beautiful.
So great getting in there, and of course early in the morning at 7 o'clock to see all those kids already streaming into the aquarium for all those tours and otherwise. We haven't seen a lot of kids here much of this week, but they're out and about.
Oh, they are. They are. It's the traffic tells it all.
It does. It does.
Even
That's
at 7 in the morning.
Right. Even at 7, you can look out and see this traffic here on 501.
And I got to be honest with you, I don't see much traffic at 7 in the morning often.
Does that mean you're up
I'm a night
early
guy.
in the out in the garden, or
I'm
you're
a nocturnal
staying up late?
musician.
Yeah, is that right? And that's pretty common, I guess, in the music world.
Sure.
You've got
Most of the concerts or gigs are in the evenings,
Right.
and I find that in the quiet of the night is a great time to compose instead of the busyness of the day. And when everything settles down, it's the easiest way to write music and to compose. So I do a lot of that in the evenings.
most of your composing at night.
Yes, I do.
Do you have a place in the house?
I
you
do.
go
I
outside,
have a
or-
little portable kind of studio.
We
with
should
my-
have filmed there. Yeah,
and
see
little
the
keyboard. Well, we can do that next time.
Right.
And I'll just sit there and play for hours until something comes out I like.
So you play to. Give viewers a sense of what that's like trying to create music.
Oh, that's an interesting thing. I think it happens different for a lot of different artists, but for me, and I just had this conversation with a producer the other day, it's like I just sit down and begin to fool around just with a chord or something, and I'll just play. And if I hear something I like, I'll just remember that little section, and then I'll do it a little longer, and then pretty soon I have a chord progression or a pretty melody, and just begin to expand on it. Mm-hmm. And then when I get a concept, maybe a verse, chorus, and a bridge, or some little linear representation of the song, I'll let it sit for a little while, and then move on to something else or practice something else. And I can record it right in my keyboard, and so then I'll pull it back up and listen later what I wrote and
See if
and
you feel
expand
good or
on it.
not.
Yeah, see if I still like it,
right.
and if I do, then I'll continue to work on it until it ends up in some more substantive form.
And you find at times when you go to work on something else, in the back of your mind, you're still thinking about.
It is like that. I think sometimes I can get caught up in the particulars of what I think the song ought to be, and I'm more of the song should be telling me what it ought to be. More let it come than intentionally write for a particular purpose. That's a whole different ballgame. Let's say somebody has a commercial they want music for. Well, that's a very specific, we want it to sound like this, we want these kinds of instruments, and we want it to feel this and communicate that. Mm-hmm. Well, that's a very specific criteria to write a song with.
Right.
But with my original material, just the songs that I record as a composer, it's a totally different, opposite process where I have no end result in mind. I just work my way through it and find out with the rest of us, what it came out to be.
That's fascinating.
Isn't that neat?
That is.
It's an interesting way to create, and I find both of them just pretty much equally as stimulating. Maybe letting it happen is a little more fun for me, but I love to write commercial stuff.
Speaking of that,
products.
I think I just saw at RockyFretz.com there was a little mention of Fear Factor. Fear Factor
yes.
had taken a little
That's
piece of
interesting,
one of your pieces. How did that come about?
I have a friend in California whose business is film and TV placement for music, and he found me on the web and asked me if I'd be interested in pitching anything, and so I just showed him my catalog. If you have anything there you like, you're welcome to use it, and so we licensed. I think it was Standing on the Edge of Tomorrow from my A Better Way CD that made the Fear Factor actually in a credit roll.
Right.
And then the making of Conviction was Walking on Water from my Faith CD was actually in the film, and then in the transition music going to commercial on a Megan Mullally show.
Great.
They used one of my little jazz pieces, and so
Get down.
So I
That
really
is
love
tremendous.
writing. I like film placement. I think we're going to do a lot more of that over the next couple of years.
That is
I'm working
great.
with a new producer, one of my heroes.
Who's that?
His name is Will Ackerman. I don't know if you're familiar with the Wyndham Hill record label,
I'm
but
not,
it was the
but that's not a
premier
surprise.
acoustic instrumental label for many years through the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And Will Ackerman is a Grammy-winning guitarist, producer. He discovered George Winston, the piano player, that's a very famous piano player, and
sure.
Michael Hedges, the guitar player, and came up through that whole era of instrumental music that was rather the undercurrent to popular music of the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Right.
And Will is now solely a record producer, and he's producing artists like Stanton Lanier and some great guys, maybe a half a dozen Grammy winners.
Is that right?
And in
Will
2004,
Ackerman's doing all that.
Yes,
Great.
and Will in 2004 won the Grammy for Best Acoustic Album.
Get down.
With his guitar stuff. And Will's producing my next record. And so I think I was talking to Will earlier about this very subject about writing music,
Right,
because he's
right.
writing a book, and we were comparing what it's like to write a book as compared to writing a song. Real interesting
And
conversation.
his was
as well.
a little macro
He finds
to your
them
micro.
diametrically
Yeah, sure.
opposed.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting.
He said that he definitely has an end result for writing literary.
Right.
But when it comes to music, it's more like I do, and just find out at the end what it's like.
Listen up. That's
So it's
fantastic.
pretty fun stuff. And Will is doing a lot of placement with movies, TV, film stuff.
Right.
And so back to the subject, I really think we'll have a lot of fun in the next couple of years.
He
placing.
should help
He's
open a
gonna
lot
help.
of doors, get a lot of your stuff.
Yes,
Of course,
yes,
so
I'm
many
really excited
musicians are
about it.
thrilled about their first, maybe their second album, or now CD that comes out. You're now working on, is it number 8?
Yeah,
That's insane.
Number 8. I am so pleased with the way the recordings are going. The Grand Strand area, we've been here. My wife Kimberly and I have been here for about 22 or 23 years.
Is that right? More than 2 decades.
Yes, and we're just hooked on the Grand Strand. And
Sure.
we love the community and have been involved in a number of different ways. And the CDs have been instrumental in several things. One, music was a big reason that Street Reach got started.
Right. Oh,
and,
yes.
And the Grand Strand has just embraced my CDs with such. It's just overwhelming. Sometimes.
It has been. That's
It's
right.
been overwhelming, and so I feel kind of an obligation to continue to keep making more of them, and if they'll keep getting it.
When did you do your first CD, Rocky?
My very first CD was Christmas Off the Streets, and it wasn't even a CD. It was a cassette tape.
Right.
In the very early 90s.
Okay, good. So
And
it's over the last
It was when
15
Street Reach
years
started.
or so. Yeah, okay,
It was when
sure,
Street Reach
yeah.
started, and in that first year, I got the idea. Well, it was a tough little ministry to fund. I didn't have lots of funding, and so I made the CD and sold it and put the money in the ministry. And so, actually, music was a driving factor to start that.
To help get Street Reach
Get
going,
Street Reach
yes,
off the
and we want to share that with viewers and open the door for them to understand more, and
Street
even
Reach
to
is amazing.
support Street Reach. If a viewer needs to get off to work though now, or to get family off
Right,
to school, what's the best place for someone to learn more about you if they can't sit here and catch the rest of the interview?
Just go to my website, rockyfretz.com.
Okay,
ROCKYFRETZ.
FRETZ, yes. A lot of folks have seen that name out in the community or seen you perform for the 17 years you were at the headline there, or one of the headliners there at
the Opry.
Carolina Opry. That's right, very popular location. And even more recently, Brookgreen Gardens has been a great location, as well as so many other places you're playing.
I am so blessed to get to play at some of the greatest gigs. Brookgreen Gardens has been an absolutely amazing venue, and has grown so much in that area. Everyone knows how beautiful it is, and how peaceful, and how awesome the artwork and the sculptures. But it's fast becoming, a premier place to see quality art.
and other
music
performers. We were down there filming at the Holiday House and had Bill Oberst with us, and Russell Holiday, and some others. Of course, the director there of the Brookgreen Gardens, which was wonderful. Bob that's exactly right. Bob Jewell. It was wonderful getting down there. But you say that everyone knows about it. Everyone doesn't know about it, and that's exactly why they're having tremendous series like that to get more folks in to experience Brookgreen Gardens for the first time.
Absolutely. Once you go once, you will go back. Just the magnificence of the garden and the overwhelming beauty is enough to warrant a visit. But there are a couple of times a year when they just take it over the top, and the Cool Summer Evenings concert series in June, July, and August is one of those times. I've been fortunate to be the headline act for both the Cool Summer Evenings series and the Nights of a Thousand Candles Christmas celebration for the past 3 years.
Wow.
And it's just, I was so amazed. This past Christmas, Nights of a Thousand Candles, the traffic to get in to the event was backed up from the gate of Brookgreen Gardens to the past the Y at Merle's Inlet, maybe 3 miles.
I know.
2 or 3 miles.
Our producer's husband and I tried to go down there one night, and we turned around and went for sushi. It was so it was nuts.
It's unbelievable. So it's a testament to just what can happen when you combine that kind of awesome beauty, that kind of spirit of celebration for one, and good music. It's just an amazing time. And the Cool Summer Evenings series is very very interesting because it's outdoors. I set up I have a big 7.5-foot grand piano. Her name is Esmeralda.
Esmeralda, you travel together.
Yeah, we do. I spend as much time with her as I do anyone else. My
Oh,
wife
no,
is okay with
might
that.
not like that.
She's okay.
She's
with it.
okay.
She knows
Good.
all about her, and she's happy. With
Yeah,
it. She's happy with it. But Esmeralda and I will set up under an awning or something on a small stage, and then everyone just sits in the grass. They bring their lawn chairs and a pallet, you know, and eat, and it just covers the lawn with people. And often since there's so many plants and beautiful flowers and things there's lots of singing insects. And I can remember one last year where the cicadas or whatever were happening at that time were making so much noise that it was difficult to hear the music. And so it was a quiet time during this song, and I could hear them. They were just, you know, it was a cacophony of sound. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so I just faded the music out and let them sing. And then brought it back in after a few seconds. Like we just used the whole area to enhance the musical or the artistic experience.
I hope someone got that on camera.
You really gotta go out there and experience
tape,
that. Don't miss the opportunity to do that. Both those series are amazing.
And the series is on your website at rockyfretz.com. Someone could go to brookgreen.org and check that out as well. But rockyfretz.com has page after page of the places you're playing, the locations you're constantly doing gigs, or as well as not only the Cool Summer Evenings, but also the Nights of a Thousand Candles. And that is another, I mean, it's just indescribable.
It really is. They seriously actually light more than 1,000 candles and line the walkways, line the roads. It's just beautiful.
What prompted you to found the Street Reach Ministry, Rocky?
Great question. Life's funny. Let me say that many of the challenges that the guys and ladies that find their way to the mission, to Street Reach Mission, other than homelessness, I shared some of those challenges. I've been fortunate that I'm always managed to keep a roof over my head, but many of the addiction challenges and things of that nature really had me in a bind.